Okay. Let's see. Now I need to get people in here because check. Yo. Yeah, I had to start over. My son likes to fuck with all my computer shit and it pisses me off. Oh well. Mark, if you want to share out the new link, I'd appreciate it. That will work. That will work. All right, let me just send this out real quick. So we can get more people in here. Yeah, let me just send this link out. We got 5 people, but we had like fucking 15 or something. Yo. Yo. I'm just sending this new link out, John. So, um, do. All right, sorry. Yeah, I fucked up. My camera and shit wasn't working. Send it to my IT guy. He'll take care of it. What up, Amy? Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I have to work, but I'll be creeping in the chat. Creeping in. David, always taking care of me. He's going to send out that new link and we'll get this cooking. He's always got me. What up? We got Marty in the house. What up, Marty? Good seeing you. Mark Warren in the house. John in the house. Amy creeping in. Peyton, what up, my man? Good morning. Driving down to Tennessee to pick up a Cybex VR2 seated leg press. Cybex VR2 seated leg press. Let me look that up. Cybex, because I don't know what the fuck that is. VR2. Oh, here we go. VR2. Oh, yeah, those are dope. Hell yeah. Yeah, those are good, dude. Those are good. Good. Yeah, those are sick. Let me see. I'm not so fancy where I can share my screen and shit yet, but I'll learn one day. Maybe. Oh, wait. This is what he's talking about. These type of leg press here. That's all good shit. I like those. I like them. Damn, we had so many more people in here, and then my fucking shit messed up. But we'll give them a few minutes to cook that up. And I got some questions from the email list. If you guys aren't signed up for the email list, TommyJohnCoaching.com, you'll get a pop-up when you first log into the website. Sign up for the email list. I'm not going to send you any spam or bullshit. Not going to try to sell you my coaching or anything like that. So don't worry about that. Okay. Let's see. I trained back today and posterior chain. So we did I started with some like leg curls. They're not written in my program, but I do leg curls just to get some blood in the hamstring. I was pretty tight and cold this morning. Um, so I had to do something. I couldn't go right to GHR or I would have I would have blown something off the bone. And I was pretty heavy this morning because I had a my high day yesterday. So I would have blown something off the bone if I went right into GHR. So I did some leg curls just to get blood in there and warm up. Marty says, but buy his coaching anyways, guys. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Marty. Um, yeah, so I did some leg curls, get the blood flowing. Inverse curl, which is like a assisted GHR essentially. If you don't know what an inverse curl is, you guys, oh, look at this. Watch how fancy I am now. Fucking check this shit out. Inverse curl. Ooh, images. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh yeah. Yeah. Look at this. Fucking look at how fancy I am. Fucking fancy. Here we go. Um yeah, these are examples of the inverse curl. It's essentially an assisted glute ham raise. So this weight here is not added resistance. It's actually taking resistance off your body or taking weight off your body, almost like an assisted chin up or a assisted dip would. Um, so yeah, this right here is a good example. These inverse curls. So yeah, I did those, and then I did only see a black screen. Fucking Google it yourself, then, Jonathan. Damn it. Um, yeah, inverse curl. I don't know why it doesn't let me share that. Share? Can you see me now? I don't know. It's just a stupid machine. It's not worth seeing. Um, yeah, it's just like a assisted GHR. And then I went on to do some glute bridges. Whew. I use a knotless plate loaded machine. Um, those are like cool, I guess. And then Pit Shark RDL. I'm starting to get rapidly strong at those now that I put them back in. So I have to be careful with them because, like, um, yeah, I'm not using any fucking fancy software, David. I'm literally using YouTube Studio. So yeah, you'll have to teach me how to get more fancy as we move along with these. Yeah, so I moved to knotless glute bridge machine. Then I Pit Shark RDL, which are going really good. I worked up to like 5 plates for 3 sets of 12 or something. Um, so whatever that is, I don't know, it felt good. And then I did chest supported prime row machine, and then a single arm lat pull down, and then a couple different stretching type movements like a troponin row or a Dante row, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, it ended up being a really good workout. Peyton says, I like to start off with warming up the hams for any leg session. Yeah, he said, gets my old knees moving better. Yeah, it really depends how I walk in the front door. You know, if I walk in the gym and I feel good, then I'll just like get right into shit. But if I walk in, I feel like this morning, I felt heavy. I felt really heavy. Um, I just felt tight in general. Um, Trudge forward, man. I can only train legs 3 times per week right now with fuck. I could never fucking train legs 3 times a week, bro. No, I would be fucking. I would be fucked. I would be absolutely fucked. Alex G says glute bridges give me a low back pump. There's got to be something there. There's got to be something you're doing wrong. You shouldn't be getting low back pumps from glute bridges. I mean, you can, but yeah, if you're doing something, it could be something to do with your bracing or you're not even really using the glutes. So maybe try waking the glutes up before you get into those glute bridges, and maybe that will ease some of that stress on your back. You shouldn't be getting back pumps from those. Jonathan says, off topic, always think about the time you once told me to tell my mom. What the fuck did I say? Off topic, always think about the time you once told me to tell my mom to stop touching my shit. You're a savage. Yeah, he was like missing something. I can't remember the exact context. But like she either threw out his food or something along those lines. I'm like, bro, tell your mom to keep her hands off your shit. Peyton says, I love belt squat RDLs. I think they're one of the best. I really think they're one of the best posterior builders, that and a GHR or an inverse curl. Just my opinion, but man, my fucking back was blown up today. The entire backside, you know, RDL is not just hamstrings, guys. My everything was blown up. My whole back was pumped. All the way from the fucking my earlobes down to my heels. Everything was pumped. I felt great. Riley in the house. Good morning, brother. Just got finished with training. Been running fortitude training. Hardest I have ever trained. Leave the gym feeling like I'm dying. I never loved fortitude training. I like the concept of it, and I like Scott Stevenson. I just cannot fucking do upper and lower on the same day. I can't stand that. I can't stand it. I just like training like a bro. I'm gonna be dead ass honest with you. If someone gave me that program and said this is the best way to grow muscle in the entire world, I would tell them I'm not fucking doing it. I will stay small instead. But fortitude training is amazing if you guys are okay with how it's set up. I could not get past doing upper and lower shit on the same day. It doesn't jive with me. Does not jive with me. Like I said, if it's the program that would put the most amount of muscle on me in the shortest amount of time, I still would not fucking do it because I hated it that much. And the program itself is excellent. Like I said, if you guys can fathom getting getting past that training multiple body parts like on the same day, I think fortitude training is great. I think it's great. Devin says thoughts on building a chest with bad genetics. Um, no matter what I do, I can't get a chest. I'm just very delt dominant. Yeah, this is a good question. Someone I would recommend looking into is John Warren. You can find him on YouTube. John Warren talks a lot about the ECM model. That Danny Lamartina is my coach. That's who I learned it all from. And since I've been with Danny for almost a year now, my chest is finally starting to grow. Um, Years and years of powerlifting made me very delt dominant and tricep dominant. So yeah, bro, I lived in your world for a long time, and my arms are very long too. So like technically, I have the wingspan of someone that should be like 6'2". I'm 5'9". So my leverages are not great um, for building a chest either. So yeah, I feel you, brother. But yeah, I would look into. It has a lot to do with rib cage placement. He says, "No, bro, leave the genetics out of it, bro. Like I don't have fucking genetics to have a chest, and I'm growing my chest. Um, so yeah, bro, don't even keep genetics out of it. That's all shit. You can grow your chest, trust me. Um, if I can grow my fucking chest, anyone can. Like that's how bad my genetics were for growing chest. So yeah, look up John Warren. Danny doesn't have a lot of stuff online. She's not really taking clients right now. Um, but yeah, it has a lot to do with the rib cage. I'm not going to speak on it like I'm an expert on it because I'm not. Just full transparency. But yeah, you can. A lot of people are just crunched down on everything, and like they're not actually training their chest ever. They're never actually hitting their chest. Crunchy in the house. What up, Crunchy? Um, a little late to the party. Good morning. Oh no, I was late. My camera fucked up, so I had to start over. So welcome, 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 welcome. DLC. I got a question from Crystal. She's craving peanut butter this morning, something she has never craved. Thoughts on what her body might be asking for? Um, honestly, it could just be a one-off craving. But a lot of the times, if you are craving fat, there could be something to that. I'd be curious of like her blood sugar numbers. If you want to check like her postprandial blood sugar, like after her next meal, I'd be kind of curious what they read. Um, Sometimes your body might be looking for fat to um, control blood glucose, honestly, which sounds ironic, but I've seen that before. Um, Peyton says, have you seen the Precor Dual 45? Jesus Christ, that's a lot of fucking words, dude. Collab with Glute Builder that might holy fuck. No, dude, I haven't seen. Oh, hip extent. Okay. Precor Dual 45 hip extension. Oh, yeah, I've seen shit like that. Yeah. With the glute build. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. Yeah. I definitely have. That's good shit. Donnie in the house. What up, Donnie? What's your coaching rates? I did not see them on your website. Yeah, Donnie, the reason I pulled off my coaching rates from the website is strictly because a lot of people have different desires for what they're trying to accomplish. So my competitors are going to pay something different than my lifestyle people. Some people want very bare minimum, so they don't pay as much. But the people that want the full thing, it's going to range. So your best bet is to fill out an intake application through the website. I can read if we're going to be a good fit together, and then I can kind of give you a layout of what pricing might look like. And that's just full transparency. I don't have anything to hide as far as my pricing goes, but I not everyone's paying the same thing because everyone's at a different place and everyone's kind of looking for something different. Devin, this was from earlier. He says that training chess has to do with the rib cage placement. Yeah, everything has to do with the rib cage. Like I said, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not an expert on it. I've trained for a long, long time, and the ECM stuff is all new to me. Marty says I started to switch to ECM models last year. Man, chest, back, and quads are finally starting to grow, guys. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Colton says maybe some kind of fat soluble vitamin deficiency, craving fat. No, we just had her blood work done. No, her vitamin D was actually high, and that would have been low if she was not absorbing fat. HCL was good. Yeah, no. So that's a good point, though, Colton. That's definitely something that could be a possibility. Devin says thanks. I'll look him up. Yeah, John Warren. Start there. Um, he breaks down like some of the well-known guys training. Like he'll like Cuba, for example. He'll post like a video of him like, look at all this shit he's doing wrong. He's cool about it. He's not being an asshole. Like it's very informative stuff. It's very eye-opening. Um, and it's literally the opposite of what I've been doing for years. Because like I said, I come from a strength background. So everything we did was brace down and really lock down on everything. The ECM is more about getting the rib cage to expand and really building space in the rib cage. Powerlifting and strength sports were not about that. It was about getting your waist full of air. You're filling up your low back, your obliques, and bracing down on it. The ECM is about getting the rib cage to expand and open up. So it's a bit different. It's almost opposite, which is what I've been learning. You know, the other thing, David, is Crystal is switching her medication that she was using. I won't make her um I won't make her information public, of course, but she was changing around some of that stuff that her and I were talking about. Um, so honestly, that just happened, but like now she's using that last part of that medication that she never used to use. So I'd be curious if it's something correlated with that for some reason, because all those placebos are in that pack are just like vitamins and minerals. So I would be quite curious if there was a correlation there of some kind. I just don't know for fact. I don't know for fact. Um, so that's something to keep in mind. Oh, let's see. I had a few questions from the email list. Guys, join the email list. TommyJohnCoaching.com. You can sign up for the emails. I'm not going to send you any stupid shit. You're just going to know when I'm going live. You're going to know about Omega Amino sales, Leviathan. When they run sales, you're going to know about all that shit. I've been sending out little tips and tricks. So hopefully you guys have found those helpful. I just sent one out on rear delts this week. And then last week I sent out a recipe for instant pot chicken. Nothing wild or revolutionary. But here's the thing, guys. Some of you guys are going to get this shit and be like, oh, no shit. Guys, I need to stop doing that though, because like I assume that people like know some of this stuff that I deem as obvious. And a lot of people are very, very new to this stuff. And I forget that for whatever reason sometimes. Um, so yeah, a lot of those emails are going to be like really basic shit, but they're going to help a ton of people um that you know that I would have missed if I didn't see, if I didn't put out that basic stuff. So yeah, for a lot of you guys, it's going to seem basic. Some of the stuff will be more advanced. There's just going to be a huge blend of stuff. Yeah, agreed, David. Steve says everyone loves the emails and everyone loves to hear from you. I appreciate you, Steve. Yeah, thank you for that. Devin says I'm going to get linked up with you later. Look into some pricing. I don't want to compete, but definitely want to reach my full potential. Yeah, dude. As far as competitors, um, maybe a quarter of my clients actively compete. All of my clients act like they're competitors, though. They live the lifestyle. They love the shit. They fall in love with the process, regardless if you ever get on stage or not. Everyone does live that lifestyle. And I love that. But yeah, the pricing is going to be a little bit different depending on what your goals are, and everything like that. So yeah, dude, hit me up. Hit me up for sure. David said there's always new people who need the new info. Yeah, man. As far as like, I was talking with one client and he like he was prepping meal per meal, like all of his meals. I'm like, damn, bro, like how much time you spend in the kitchen? You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, like he said, hey, is there something easier that I can just grab from the fridge? I'm like, well, why is it hard to grab your chicken and rice from the fridge? What's the just help me understand why that's any different than just anything else, right? And he's like, well, I need to cook it. I'm like, oh shit, dude, like, oh no, like just have that shit ready, so you can just grab it from the fridge. So yeah, something as simple as that. Like, I totally overlooked that. Like, I just assumed that everyone was doing what I was doing for whatever reason. So I am starting to channel that back and realize that some of the info I'm going to put out is going to be really basic stuff that I've been doing for years and years and years. And I just forgot that some people haven't been, it's new to some people still. So very fun stuff for me. Very fun stuff. David says, Devin, I'm not a competitor. I love Tommy's coaching. He's pushed me further than I ever thought I could go. Yeah, that's kind of the biggest compliment I get um with my coaching is I will take people sometimes further than they even wanted to go to begin with, or realize that they were even capable of. Um, but in my opinion, that's one of the greatest compliments I get is being able to help people see what their potential really is. And man, a lot of guys and girls are like, "Yeah, I feel lean." It's like, "Oh no, we got like 12 more weeks left." And they're like, "Oh fuck," you know? And that's not like an insult. Um, but the way I look at it is if you're gonna go through a season or a phase, see it all the way through. So if you're gonna get real fucking lean, get undeniably lean to the point where anyone in the world would look at you and say, "Oh, that person is very lean." You know, that is, you, honestly, when your loved ones start thinking that you are starting to look ill, like that's probably how you know you're almost lean enough. And that's even for my non-competitors, guys. I like to get people downright dirty lean, especially if it's their first time ever. Really rinse all that fat off and start from scratch. And all of my clients just put on muscle rapidly after that phase. Rapidly. So it's really fun. It's really fun for me. Not sure if you discuss these topics on here. I discuss everything, bro. Um, and welcome. Thank you for being here, by the way. But if so, how have you seen the power of estrogen management occurring from EQ use versus Primo clients personally? Thank you for your time. Yeah, EQ can absolutely smash people's estrogen for sure. In my opinion, it seems to be stronger than Primobolan. For me personally, it's about the same as Primo for me. EQ and Primo um, control my estrogen about the same. Um, I get a better. This is going to sound weird. It's total anecdotally. It's not. None of it's science. I'm just a bro. Remember that. EQ, I get more performance benefits from than Primo. Primo, I get a better look than from EQ. And you're gonna be like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? That's just it's just me talking shit. It's just what I've seen. If I run tests in equipoise, my performance is higher in the gym, meaning I actually notice an athletic performance increase. When I run tests and Primobolan, I notice my look is better. I am not as strong, or I do not recover as quickly in between sets as I do from equipoise. Um, my number one thing that I notice when I run equipoise is like I can bang out a set, like take a set to fucking hell. Like let's say a max effort hack squat where I go to absolute failure, like to the point where I literally get buried by the sled in the hole. On EQ, I would be ready to go again in like 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Primo, I'd probably need 3.5 minutes. And like I said, it's gonna sound crazy, but like that's just what I've noticed in my experience. What else did you ask? What else can I touch on? Uh, in my opinion, and I don't know like the absolute science on this, I don't think they're controlling estrogen the same, regardless of what the number is on blood serum. Um, and you can test this yourself, just if you want to see, because it's kind of cool. But if you go get a total estrogen test done on equipoise, it's going to be absolutely through the roof because equipoise is converting to E1 instead of E2, from my understanding. If you got a total estrogen done on Primobolan, you're not going to see that same high total estrogen number. So I think they're controlling estrogen differently, but they both are working. I like both of those products. I would use either one. I've used them together with great success. If I'm being honest, I've used them together, and I have many times, and it's not something that I wouldn't do again. I like them both. I like them both equally. Um, Jonathan says, I am the leanest I've ever been in my life, and people continue to tell me to stop because I'm starting to look sick. That's my man. Yeah, you're doing awesome, dude. You're doing awesome. Mark said, my grandma would always get on to me when Tommy was cutting me down. Well, you live in the South and you have a Southern grandma, so she's just mad that you're not eating her shitty food. You're not eating her fucking biscuits and gravy and shit. Devin says, I just work in the oil field 2 weeks out of the month. Um, I can only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep a day. Yeah, it's rough, man. So I hope that won't hinder my progress. It will. It will. I'm being honest, but it doesn't mean that you can't make great progress. You could make better progress if you could get 7 to 8. But what the fuck are you gonna do? Quit your job? You know what I mean? So we still gotta pay our bills, my friend. DLC said, Jonathan, that's how you know you're getting lean enough. Yeah. Yeah, and people are more dramatic than it actually is. I'll tell you when if you look sick. I would never let you get sick, but you know what I mean. Peyton says EQ absolutely smashes my E2. I love it, but um I just get to run higher tests. Yeah, for a lot of people, EQ is going to be it's really going to lower that E2 for sure. And yeah, like Peyton said, man, I just bump up the tests then and leave the EQ where it is. And I have no complaints about that. Jonathan Devon, it's hard. I work shift work. Yeah, in the refineries. Same amount of sleep. Off days, I try to catch up on sleep. Yep, yep. Jonathan says Tommy has been nothing short of awesome. Appreciate you, brother. You are an absolute pleasure to work with. So, Amy says, I love what you have been sending out in the emails. Thank you, Amy. I feel the same way about nutrition. I assume that everybody knows what I know and they don't. Yeah, so a lot of the emails, like I said, that you guys will get are going to be like real basic shit. But basic is like a forgotten fucking magic trick. Man, like this year, I'm focusing on getting back to basic shit. Like I got so into the weeds over the last like 2 years or so about like learning about these new peptides and bioregulators and like a lot of good shit. But I got so into the weeds with this stuff where I'm like, I'm ready just to get back to fucking bodybuilding where you're just slanging and banging, eating food, keeping your gear simple, getting your blood work done, spending time with family, getting good sleep, like just good old fashioned bodybuilding. Good old fashioned bodybuilding. Love it. Devin said EQ destroyed my hematocrit after a week. Yeah, after week 8, he said, "Yeah, I can do that. It can do that. It can thicken up that blood for sure." Yeah, definitely not. There's other things you can do to mitigate some of that. But again, if the drug's not for you, just don't take it. I can't use NPP personally. I think it's a great compound. It just doesn't. It's not great for me, unfortunately. Joseph in the house. Yo, he says, "What up, Joseph?" Um, Colton says, "I've been looking into this a bit. EQ converts into E1. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. E1 can be converted to an enzyme called 17-HSD. No one fucking cares, Colton. Stop it." He says, in muscle fat, breast tissue into estradiol, lower E2 in serum, but higher in the tissues. That's what I mean. So if you were to actually go get a total estrogen test done, like that measures E1, E2, E3, E4. I think E4 is one of them. Um, you will actually see how fucking high it is, and that's because of equipoise. Because it does convert, just not to E2, which we know is estradiol, which is E1 is estrone. Estradiol is more the one that we're concerned about. So yeah. Donnie, wouldn't using EQ and Primo together crush estrogen? Donnie, I just told you that I've done it successfully. So you cannot make statements like in absolute, because no, if the test is high enough and the EQ and Primo are dosed at whatever they need to be dosed at, no, no. So no absolute statements ever exist. Certainly not on this channel. That's not a thing. But yeah, for a lot of people could not run EQ and Primo together. There's absolutely no way. There's no fucking way. Me, I can, and I do. Another, yeah, Devin. See, this is another one where you can't just make statements like this. And I know you're asking a question, but he said, do you want to keep E2 at 60 range to keep your heart healthy? There's nothing that says that anywhere. Guys will get gyno at 60, some guys. So no, not for everyone. Not for everyone. You want to keep your heart healthy, then you should be doing cardio and eating better. Estrogen is cardiac protective, but it's not the first thing that I would lean into to keep my heart healthy. That's for sure. Alex G, what properties of NPP do you like over DECA? I've only ran DECA once, and I was a kid, and I would never run it again just because I don't care to. I would never run NPP again, to be fair. It just, like I said, I've ran it like 15 times, and everyone was terrible. So, but I kept trying it and trying it and trying it. Finally, I just said, I'm never running this shit again. So yeah, there's nothing that I like about NPP more than DECA. I think you can run either one. NPP, to me, in my experience, most people seem to keep water off a bit easier, and it seems the onset seems to be a little bit quicker than DECA. It just seems a little bit cleaner than DECA, but I don't have an issue with either one if people tolerate it. Mike Bell in the house. What up, Mike? Colton says, this is why I've been seeing guys having gyno issues on tests, 19 NOR and EQ. 19 NORs raise breast tissue sensitivity. Yeah, exactly. And EQ is supplying the indirect estradiol for tissues to convert. Yeah, so 19 NORs literally make breast receptor more active, the receptors at the breast tissue more active. Anadrol does too, ironically. So a lot of people, most people have to run Anadrol with Novadex. Otherwise, they will actually get gyno too, and you're not supposed to get gyno from Anadrol. The other thing is that Anadrol does is makes you poorer at metabolizing estrogen because of the liver toxicity. So that's another thing, another one of those tricky drugs. Steve says, I just started using an app called Strong. I input my John Meadows programming, and it's been good. I could never read my notes in handwriting on paper. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's a good idea. How do you log your training? I don't. Just being honest. I don't write anything down. I don't keep track of anything. I just train. I'm not saying that's the way to do it. That's the way I do it. It's the way I do it. I've done all the logging in the past. I don't care to. I know if I'm getting stronger. I know if I'm building muscle. I don't need a logbook to tell me that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Amy says, when you're getting so lean that the strangers think I'm dying, they think dying is my love language. Yeah, exactly. John says, how to know when to add more volume, pull back, or hold steady. I'm doing about 13 sets of back work every 4 days, recovering great. I want to do more, but sometimes more is less. So John is asking how to know when to add more volume. Just add more volume until you're not recovering, and then pull it back. I think volume should be cyclic and titrate. So I think sometimes that's what Riley was talking about, fortitude training. There's the volume is cyclic. So you actually build up in volume. Fuck's his name? Scott Stevenson. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. He has tiers of volume that he calls them. So it's like 2 working sets, 3 working sets, 4 working sets, whatever. And then you like deload or just cycle back. So that's what I would do, John. You know, you're doing 13 sets of back work now every 4 days. I would bump that up, you know, to maybe I would go from 13 to 16 and then 16 to 19, and then I would drop back down. And it doesn't have to be like, do this for 2 weeks, do this for 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be like that. Just fucking play it by ear, you know. I make calls on the fly all the time, dude. I am not married to fucking anything written on a piece of paper. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If my workout says do 3 sets of hack squat and I got everything I needed out of set 1 and I don't see any benefit to do the other 2, I don't do them. I don't fucking do them. I don't care. I don't fucking care because a good athlete knows how to call audibles. A good athlete avoids injuries by calling audibles. You know, that's called dancing with your body. It's something I learned from Fred Hatfield. Um, so Fred Hatfield was a very, very intelligent strength coach, and coach in general. And he used to say, learn to dance with your body and just know when to call audibles. The other person I learned that from is Clint Darden. And he was another one who's like, if you're having a great day, he's like, know when to shut it down. If you're having a bad day, know when to shut it down. There were days where, you know, I would go into the gym, do my first couple movements, things just felt like shit. Guys, I would just pack my bags and leave. I would just pack my shit up and leave, you know? If the fucking if it's not fitting in, you know, you get out of there. You know, if it's everything's not clicking, that nothing's meshing, you're trying to warm up, you're trying to get something going and it's just not there, I fucking go home. I go home. I just listen to my body, you know? It's a skill you learn over time. Um, just the more time you spend under the bar and in the gym and just learning. When things don't feel right, you gotta fucking pivot. You absolutely have to pivot, or you will either get hurt or whatever else. Amy says the Strong app is great. She's responding to Steve. I'm old school paper logbook. Yeah, if I were to logbook, it would be pen and paper. Better yet, if I trained in a home gym, I would log on like dry erase board or chalkboard. That's what I used to do when when I was doing like a concurrence or a conjugate type training protocol. I would have my max effort lifts that I would rotate through, and I would write my best numbers on the chalkboard. And then I knew what to beat when I had to come back, when I would rotate back through those movements. Um, so yeah, that's how I used to logbook. And then I have like a million fucking notebooks. I found a notebook the other day from 2009 with with my logbook, which is really cool. It was really cool. I was benching like I don't know, like 140 pounds or something. It was wild. It was wild. It's cool to watch. Cool to look through. Jonathan says I got recommended to do Stairmaster for cardio, and it's better for fat loss. Is there any truth to that? No, but I think the Stairmaster is great. Better is such a stupid word. Like, I don't mean that. Like, I don't mean that as an insult to you. Um, but better is such a silly fucking word because you can't quantify it. Why? Why is it better? What is better about it? If you can show me that something's measurable, then we can call it better. But if someone's just saying it's better because like whatever, it's harder or whatever the fuck it is, better is just such a silly word. So think about that. There's no reason that if you're getting your heart rate, you know, over 130 beats per minute and keeping it there, there's no reason mowing the fucking lawn isn't any better than fucking doing the Stairmaster. You know what I mean? And mowing the lawn will probably get you some kudos for whose ever lawn you're mowing, right? So I think that's better. I think mowing your lawn is better than the Stairmaster. Go tell your friend that. Let's see. Devin says, just sent my request on your website. Cool, Devin. I'll look out for that. I'll give you a response later. Mike, Tommy, did you know Fred personally? Yeah, I met Fred. I didn't like know him personally, but I met Fred in man, what year was it? 2014 or 15. I worked with Josh Bryant, and Fred Hatfield was Josh's mentor for a long time. So my friend and I went to meet Fred and Josh in Madison, Wisconsin. Alex G says Stairmaster's cool. I've been digging my bike lately. Wake up and start pedaling at home has been easy money. I love the Stairmaster just because it's easy to keep the heart rate up. You have no fucking choice but to just keep walking or you're gonna fall on your fucking face. There's no option. You know what I mean? With like bikes and pedaling, um, I like I would get lazy. You know what I mean? Like I like the bikes for sprints. But yeah, exactly. Let's see. Amy, do battle ropes count for high intensity interval training? Or did I torture myself? Yeah, no, battle ropes are great for like a hit style or a Tabata style cardio. Yeah, those are great. They're great, but they're brutal for sure. Mel said I've tried Stairmaster, but I keep going back to a treadmill or an outside jog. Man, I think the Stairmaster, in my opinion, is my favorite methodology of cardio or form of cardio. Um, so yeah, Jonathan, when that person said the Stairmaster is better, they're probably like me where they just like it for whatever reason. And it's not like quantifiable, but they just like it. I like it because it's easy to keep my heart rate up and there's no fucking option. You if you miss a step, you're gonna fall on your face. So it actively just keeps you going, like a train is pushing you, and you have no option. Like the treadmill, you can like, I don't know, you can kind of bullshit it. You can kind of like stop and slide to the back and then catch back up. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. The Stairmaster, you just have to keep chugging along. Um, the other thing I would encourage you to try is to try to do it without your hands, as long as your balance is okay and you're not going to hurt yourself or anything like that. But actually, like keeping your hands off, supporting yourself is going to be, uh, you can do a lower level, but still have the heart rate up as high. What did I miss? Tom said when the grass is greener on the other side, somebody has to cut the lawn. It's true. Crunchy said, my lawn is the same angle as the Stairmaster. See? You can probably do your cardio just mowing the lawn. Tom also says, never cut another man's lawn. Fair enough. Life advice from Uncle Tom. Jonathan says, don't know what devil got into me the other night, but I did an hour to try it. Yeah, I mean, dude, like I said, I like the Stairmaster. If I were to purchase another piece of cardio equipment, it would be a Stairmaster for sure. My second favorite cardio piece is elliptical. And that's primarily when I do cardio, that's primarily what I use as the elliptical. Yeah, Mark says elliptical is my go-to. All right, let's see. I had a few questions from the email. First one from Mike Stanley, my man. How would you adjust training volume for a lifter in his 60s? I enjoy bro split 5 day a week, but wondering more about sets per body part. This is something I kind of touched on earlier. Well, first, you need to quantify volume because not all volumes created equal. So the intensity of the volume matters. So when you just say a number like volume, like for example, if someone does 2 working sets, that can look vastly different from one person to the next. I've seen some people do working sets and not much fucking work was done, right? And then I've seen some people do working sets where they take those motherfuckers to hell and you know, they pretty much are spent after those 2 working sets. So that's important to note first is that intensity is going to dictate how effective or detrimental volume can be. So, regardless of your age, the intensity of the volume is going to matter. But so the main question was, how would you adjust training volume for a lifter in his 60s? This is how I would do it for anyone, regardless of their age. You start as low as possible, which would look like one working set per exercise, and then per muscle group, I would aim for like 3 to 4 exercises. So, for example, we can use chest. I would do one working set of an incline machine, and then one working set of incline dumbbell, and then one working set of chest fly, and then another working set of another machine that I like. That's 4 exercises, 4 sets. And then depending on your split, he said he does a bro split, you might hit it again later in the week. So, depending on how he has his workout set up. So then I would keep it there and progress as long as I can off that one working set. And then when I feel it's just way too easy, I'd bump it to 2 working sets per exercise. And then I would roll again. And I would keep going until 2 doesn't feel effective anymore. And then I would push it up to 3, and I would find the ceiling. And finding the ceiling doesn't mean you work up the volume until you get hurt. Oh, excuse me, I'm choking on my spit. But finding the ceiling just means that you titrate up that volume until you don't feel you're recovering effectively anymore. So that's for Michael Stanley. I don't know if he's in here. I didn't see him yet. But yeah, that's regardless of your age, dude. That's how I would do it. You try to get the most out of the least, and then you titrate up as needed, just like anything else. Let's see. Peyton said, I just got a new Life Fitness E5 Go Elliptical. Yeah, those are nice. Those are really nice. I like those. Devin seconds the stair climber. Yeah, I think if you ask anyone, the stairs are probably going to be the most popular. YouTube browser upload. What up, dude? Good evening, Tommy. How's the week been? You are looking wider and thicker. How's training, diet, and PEDs looking at the moment? First off, thank you for being here. Training's been really good. Diet is quite a bit of food. I'm still absolutely ravenous. PEDs haven't changed much. They haven't changed much. They've been pretty consistent for the last few months. So I'm just getting a lot out of the food and the training right now. The training has been extremely effective. And training and food will always build the real muscle. PEDs do work though. I promise. I promise. Okay. Christopher Christensen. I'm telling you, I always think that name is made up, bro. I need to I need to learn your real name. Okay. I'll get to this after this one because he's live here. How's your experience and the results you've seen from others been with having 2 full leg days over to 7 to 8 days versus splitting it up quads and hams? Do you think splitting up quads and hams could lead to better growth in some? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think splitting up quads and hams could definitely lead to growth in some. I personally I have one actual leg day, and then my posterior day, like you said, ends up being pretty much ham day now, and that's been very beneficial for me and others for sure. What pros and cons do you see versus full leg days versus splitting them up? Man, I think one of the cons. We'll start there. One of the cons with a full leg day is a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people save their hamstrings for last And this is going to tie into the question I got through my email. TommyJohnCoaching.com. Guys, sign up for the email list. I don't send out like spam or promote any bullshit. It's just so you guys get information and we can chat back and forth about stuff. But I did get a question that is going to tie into this. So you asked, what pros and cons do you see versus full leg days versus splitting them up? A full leg day, by the time this is how most people set it up. They hit their quads, like their big compound movements first. Let's call it leg press, hack squat, barbell squat if people squat, big squat machines. And then they try to hit their hamstrings later. You're fucking smoked. You're smoked. You're smoked. To be fair, I do think the hamstrings are still involved in a lot of those movements, of course, but you're not quite able to give them the dedication a lot of people need. Um, so nowadays, my views have changed on this, but nowadays I really do think the hamstrings should be separate at least a little bit, even if you just touch them up on another day, which would be like probably a back day. And you can make that back day like have some leg curls on there, maybe do some RDLs or shit like that. Even some bent over rowing is going to hit the posterior chain a little bit, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And so here's, now that you mentioned that, the question to my email was, why are my erectors trashed? But honestly, they were fairly strong at one point when I was running and rucking, and now I haven't been. Can that really be it? So yeah, running and rucking will actually build the posterior and help spinal erectors. Um, just steps in general can help keep your low back healthy because there's a lot of glute involvement. So Christopher's asking, he feels like his spinal erectors have gotten worse. And the reason he's asking is because he'll do a full leg day. And then at the end, he needs to do straight leg deadlifts and he's fucking smoked. So like Christopher would be a good example of someone who should probably um, pull those straight leg deadlifts off his leg day and put them on a different day and probably earlier in the workout too. Because like he said, by the time he gets there, his erectors are already so trash that he can't even do the straight leg deadlift because he just did an entire leg workout. You know what I mean? So that ties into that about some of the pros of splitting up. For most people nowadays, if someone came to me off the street and said, "Hey, should I split up my quads and hamstrings?" My answer is going to be yes, probably. Yes, probably. Um, so yeah, that's a good question, dude. Thank you. David says, "Who's excited for the Arnold guys?" The Arnold is like 3 fucking weeks away. Crazy. Who's excited? Who's going? Let us know what you guys think about the Arnold. Who's gonna win? Do you guys care about Classic? Who's gonna win Classic? Who's gonna win Open? Let me hear your thoughts in the comments about the Arnold, guys. Mel says the Scorpion program introduced me to posterior days apart from quads. Uh, when he says Scorpion program, he's talking about Chris Edmonds' training program, one of his training programs. John will be there. Mike Bell says, John Meadows ingrained hamstrings first in my leg day. Yeah, but even so, dude, yes, John always said that, and I still think people should. But just some leg curls before you fucking squat is not going to build your hamstrings. I do think they need more attention than that. But I still think people should do leg curls before they squat, just for knee health and longevity. YouTube says, I think keeping an isolation lift for each quads and hams, if splitting them up is a good idea. I agree. Yeah, like I was just touching on. Leg extensions or a leg press on ham day, absolutely. And leg curls. Yep. I am with you 100%. I think you should touch hamstrings on quad day and you should touch quads on hamstring day. 100% agree with you. Absolutely. John touches on it here. Hamstrings first can help with knee pain. Not only can, it likely will. And guys, I don't like speaking in absolutes, but I'd be hard pressed to find anyone where it's going to hinder their knee pain by doing a proper leg curl before they get into some quad shit. YouTube says the mountain dog leg curls before quads is awesome. Yep, totally agree. Squat and leg press movements feel so much better. 100%. Yeah, you get a cushion, you get the blood flowing, things get warm. Chris Christensen says first exercise usually leg curls. Yep. Which will also likely hit the erectors only if you're doing them wrong. You really shouldn't feel like you shouldn't feel your erectors in a leg curl. If you are, you're going too heavy and you're using your back and you're not isolating the hamstring well, in my opinion. I would have to see a video of you doing them, but that sounds iffy to me. Love you, but that's not a good look, my man. You better fix that shit. YouTube says, I don't give any fucks about the Arnold, to be honest. I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. I don't follow. I mean, I'm pretty involved with, the open. I do like to just see the guys, but I stay out of the drama and stuff. I'm just a big fan of Nick Walker because he is one of our athletes at Omega Amino. So I really root for him strongly. Just because, like I said, he's a sponsored athlete and I think he's a great guy. Speaking of, there is a Valentine's Day sale going on right now, Omega Amino. Code Tommy, 30% off, and you get some free gifts with that. So check that out if you guys want. If not, don't care. Still love you. Still love you. Mike Bell says, I'd love to see Brandon win. I'm a huge fan of Brandon. Huge fan of Brandon. He's not going to win, though. But I'm a huge fan. Peyton will be there. Awesome. Gonna hit up Metro and Pros. Yeah, Pros is a fucking shit show. I got to figure out where I'm going to train when I'm there, too. Yeah, Mike says Sam is going to bring a huge crowd. Guys, that fucking kid, man. Holy shit. Man, that's fame. It's wild. Amy's going to be at the Arnold. Can't wait. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. YouTube asks, why don't you think leg curls at the start of a leg day is sufficient? What would you say is sufficient then for maximal optimal hamstring development? Sorry, I'm just laughing because those are the funniest words ever. Maximal, optimal, like a hip hinge, like doing a few fucking leg curls before your quad day. That's not going to build your hamstrings. I look at that more as preventative maintenance. It will touch up the hamstrings, but the primary goal of that is to build some volume over time. If you're doing leg curls for years and years and years before your quad day, think about how many extra leg curls over time that accumulates and stretch that over years and a decade. That's a lot of extra hamstring volume, which will elicit growth. But no, that's not sufficient enough to build your hamstrings. I like you said, do you need to hip hinge? I don't know if need is ever a word that should be placed in our industry anywhere, but I do think there's benefit to hip hinging. Most people don't even know how to fucking hip hinge. They can't even properly get their body to do it. And I think that's a pretty standard movement that people should know how to do. Glute ham raise, I think, is great if done properly. RDL, another great one if people actually know how to do it. But I think you need to find someone who knows how to do those movements, and they need to teach you how to do them properly, because those type of movements, not only will they just not be effective if you're doing them wrong, but you will get hurt. You will get hurt. More cushion for the pushing. Yeah, he's talking about doing hamstrings before. Have you guys tried single leg curls? What do you think about that? Yeah, I like them. Like a kneeling leg curl is good if you have one of those machines. John was a big fan of those. Mike Bell says, I'm going to check out my first NPC show. Nice, nice, nice. YouTube says you can really brace and keep tension. He's talking about single leg. Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. Johnny Boy says Hottie or Andrew for the win. I don't disagree. Alex says, I'd like to go to the Arnold to hit up the expo. Looks like a good time. You should, bro. If you got the resources and the time, and it's fun. It's fun. We're gonna have a booth there. Chase will be there. David, some of our athletes will be there. Um, I'm technically an athlete, but I don't claim to be one, so I don't look like one. But some of our good-looking athletes will be there. I'm just a fucking NPC bodybuilder scrub. Mike Bell, I'm about an hour away. Oh, they're talking about meeting up to train. YouTube says, speaking of training, how do you approach putting together a workout when you are in a new gym? Do you have a template in your head, or what is your thought process? Yeah, dude, that's a good question. My template in my head is always the same. It really is. It never changes. Um, so, you know, and I got this from John Meadows, and I've spoke about it on here before. But you really get something to get things firing and activated. Um, if we want to let's use chest as example again. Um, I would just do some sort of like machine fly or like a really light dumbbell press, short rest periods, just get the blood flowing, get things activated. Then I move into a more compound type movement, like an incline press machine or whatever. Then I move into something that's really going to drive a ton of fucking blood in there. That could be a superset, could just be another machine, whatever. And then I normally finish with something that's going to open you up and stretch the muscle. So no matter what muscle group, no matter what gym I'm in, that tier level is always kind of the same for me. So it's activate, it's power, it's hypertrophy, and then it's stretch. So remember those four. And that's kind of how I structure all my training. There's nuance, and I could talk about training for fucking 12 hours at least. Diesel Dave seconds that he loves one-legged leg curls. Yep. David's telling Alex to go to the Arnold for sure. Yep. Hang out at our booth. Come chat. Come hang out. John said, who's excited to catch a cold at the Arnold? Fuck yeah. We all know that's coming. YouTube. I love this guy. He's such a fucking troll sometimes. I love it. Illicit sarcoplasmic and myofibrillar hypertrophy. Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. That's how people fucking. Man, bodybuilding is so simple, and we've somehow turned it into this mess of big words and shit that, man, just doesn't matter. Crazy fucking peptide protocols and drug protocols and like training that is just out of this fucking world strange. And like, guys, I miss the basics. That's my thing in 2026 is back to basic shit. Fucking banging weights, eating a lot of food, keeping gear simple, keeping the peptides that I like in, getting rid of the ones that are just seem crazy to me, where I don't really notice the effect of. And just back to fucking basics, man. You guys a guy that I like right now on the social medias is Pete Hartman. I just love watching him train. He's like our modern day Branch Warren, and I just fucking love it. I just love it. I absolutely love it. I love the simplicity. I really think that's all is required to be good at this shit. I really do. Just basic hard work and having a day that's repeatable. and repeat those days for decades and decades. And that's how you'll grow muscle, in my opinion. Totally my opinion. YouTube says, "Oh, crazy how Chase has downsized. Good for him, though." Yeah, guys. It's very good for him. He's doing it for the right reasons. Um, he wants to focus on longevity, growing his family, staying healthy, and he's leading by example again, which he has done since we all have known of him. He's always led by example. Um, so he is doing this, and it's going to give people strength that are afraid to downsize. Of course, there's going to be haters that come out of the woodwork. Like when people are an alcoholic, you know who they hate most? Other people that fucking quit drinking. So all these guys that are blasting fucking gear and sauce to the gills and just want to get fucking big, bro, want to die huge. Yeah, of course, when Chase comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm not taking gear anymore," they're like, "Oh, you used to be cool like me, and now you're not running gear anymore because you don't want to die? That's so boring." It's like, no, he just has a lot more to lose now. And what happens is that attacks people personally because they're like, "I don't have fucking shit to lose. I'm just going to get big, bro. I'm going to smash all the gear." Chase actually has shit to lose. He has shit to lose. And when you have something to lose, all of a sudden life is much different. It's much different. It's much more valuable. So the days of just wanting to get huge, bro, that shit's gone. That shit's gone. He wants to see his family grow. He wants to grow with them. He wants to be there for them. And how can you fucking bash a guy for that? Absolutely crazy. I saw so much negativity. Of course, there was a huge support system too. Um, but there were so many guys that were personally attacked by it. And that's all it is that people just like it hurts them to know that they probably are killing themselves and they won't admit it. And then they see Chase, "Hey, I really don't think this shit's good for me anymore. I'm probably tapping out." And he made that decision on his own for good reason. And still people cannot figure it out. They can't figure it out, or they just won't they won't they won't just accept it that this stuff that we do, guys, at certain levels is dangerous and it will take years off your life. If I ever speak in absolute, it's that one. This will this will take years off your life. That does not mean there are going to be quality years, but it will take years off your life. You will die sooner if you abuse steroids. I promise. I promise. There's no fucking there's absolutely no debating that. If you abuse anabolic steroids, you are going to die sooner than if you didn't. Promise. That's an absolute statement that I'm making here, which I normally don't do. So yeah, absolutely so proud of Chase for making that decision. I think it's wonderful. And the other thing that you will notice, a lot of his friends are still jacked and massive and still blasting gear, and he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't judge them for it. He doesn't judge any of his friends for still blasting gear. He's not like, "Hey guys, since I'm not going to use gear, like you guys probably shouldn't either." He's not doing any of that either. He's staying in his own fucking lane. He's doing his own thing like he's done for years. That's why he's successful. He focuses on his shit, not everyone else's. He could give two fucks about whatever anyone else is doing because it doesn't affect him. So good for him. Absolute golden shit there. That is leading by example. 100%. DLC said he's going to be slamming glutathione and vitamin C and D before the Arnold. YouTube says John Meadows covers your approach in his The Brutality of Mountain Dog Training ebook. Yeah, that's a great ebook. But yeah, that's who I learned that from. That's kind of, and it kind of comes from the powerlifting world a little bit too. And that's John and I kind of, we learn from some of the same people. Louis Simmons kind of, was a grandfather of a lot of shit that actually applies to bodybuilding, even though no one wants to admit it. Most people don't even know who fucking Louis Simmons is, unfortunately. Melmac asks, what do you think about blood flow restriction techniques? They're great. Sounds like a recipe for numb arms and legs. No, I think blood flow restriction is great if used well. Melmac also says Chase still looks jacked. Guys, Chase is always going to look good. Why the fuck wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? He would look more unhealthy if he just stayed 280, 285, 290. Guys, he looks great. He's always going to look good. He's always going to keep fitness a part of his life. It's literally given him everything. It's given him everything. He's built a fucking empire out of it. He's always going to be jacked. Whatever his fucking body weight is, he's always going to be jacked. I don't care if he's 165 pounds. He's still going to look better than 95% of fucking people. I promise you. I promise you. Because he gives a shit. And like I said, I'm not going to drag it out, but he's just at a different point in his life where his priorities have shifted. And I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. DLC says they're projecting their insecurities on Chase 100% because they don't want to admit that they couldn't do what he's doing. 100%. They are addicted to bodybuilding. They are addicted to performance enhancing drugs. So when they see a guy like Chase stop using them, man, it hurts them personally because they can't. They can't stop. They can't fucking stop. It's not possible. It's not possible for them to stop because they're addicted. Melmac says 100% those critics don't want to admit the kind of risk they are taking. Guys, if you use that stuff, you're signing up for it. There's no guarantee, of course, but you're signing up for it. I signed that waiver a long fucking time ago. I'm good. But I can at least admit it. 100%. YouTube says, I thought we all went into this and knew that it can harm us and kill us in the long run if we're reckless. See, we should know this, but still we look at ourselves in the mirror and like there's like that like, oh, it won't happen to me though. Yeah, I heard about Jason Lowe, but that won't happen to me. How the fuck do you know? Could happen to any one of you who blast gear. Could happen to me tomorrow. Guys, could happen to me tomorrow. We have no idea. We signed that waiver. We signed up for all that shit, all the risk. And no one wants to talk about it or think about it, but it's very, very real. Very real. Then you see a guy like Chase talking about it and telling people how he doesn't want to use gear anymore. And all of a sudden it hurts them inside because they know that little fucking thing's in their brain, but they just want to turn the volume knob down. And when Chase shows what he's doing, it turns that fucking volume knob up in their head. And they're like, oh, fuck this guy. I need to turn that knob back down. I don't want to hear that shit. Fuck this guy. I'm not going to die. Oh boy. Foxer. I keep telling my wife I'm going to get down to the size and weight I was in 5th grade. A tiny little Bruce Lee. I love that shit. YouTube says to Mel, blood flow restriction training is legit. Fuck yeah. It's good shit, guys. It's good shit. It's not something you need to do like every workout or all the time, But yeah, bringing it in here and there, really good shit. Absolutely fucking brutal too. Like depending on what you do it for. There's only so many muscles that make sense to do it for. Like bicep, tricep is great. Quads and hamstrings are great. Anything else, I mean, you can't really occlude much else. I don't think you need to occlude calves. I think that's kind of pointless. So that's just my opinion. YouTube says the cuffs for blood flow restriction shouldn't be so tight that you lose feeling. It should be about a 7 out of 10. Yeah, totally agree. Peyton says I had all of Louis' old training series on VHS. Yep, me too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fuck yeah. David says Chase is the GOAT. Guys, man, we are so lucky to have a dude like that in our industry. And he's underrated. He's underrated. John says TJ gear for the Arnold. We will have some Omega Amino shit. We're not going to have any TJ gear though. Sorry, dude. John says BFR's training is good for your neck. Yeah, I agree. Mel says gonna try restriction with the quads. Yeah, brutal shit. I would do like I'd maybe save it for the end of your quad day. And I would do whatever, like maybe a leg extension or something. And I would do like 5 sets of like 15 to 20. And I would do like only like 20 seconds in between the sets. And the other thing I would do is after those 5 sets, I would pull the cuffs off and then I would hit another set of 20, 30 reps, just like absolute fucking failure and get that blood back in the muscle. You will be absolutely fucking crying. By the time you get to 2 sets, you're gonna be like, I have 3, 4 more sets. Like, fuck that. it's absolutely brutal. It's horrific. I've almost come to tears from that for sure. Even like when I included like biceps or triceps, man, the motherfucker feels like it's gonna pop. It's it's stupid. YouTube says, do not pin your quads before. Yeah. All right. I made it to the end of the chat and the end of my energy drink. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes here. See if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns. See what you guys have. Smalls, did someone say energy drink? Yeah, oops. I was supposed to stop drinking energy drinks. Didn't happen. It didn't happen. You know what's funny is I drink them post workout too. I don't take any caffeine before I train. I guess it's not that weird, but what do you guys got? Any questions? Questions. TommyJohnCoaching.com. Sign up for the email list. So I can send you nudes in your email. Small says it's hard to hydrate and drink caffeine for an early workout. I agree. Yeah. And like honestly, I feel pretty fucking good in the morning. And I'd rather like lean into some of the pump pre-workouts and shit. Get that pump. YouTube ask, speaking of quad training, what do you think about banded leg press? Not reverse banded. Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, he says it feels so good, and if you do squats after, you get like a post-activation potential. Yo, yeah. No, dude, 100%. Banded leg press is fucking awesome. And what you're experiencing when you go to squat is one, the CNS is kind of ramped up, almost like a plyometric, like if you're doing like box squats, for example, or box jumps, for example. Um, so like explosive type work before a compound movement, there's real shit there. So like what you're saying is post activation potential. That's exactly what's happening. Like a med ball slam or wall throw before like a upper body day, like you might be more explosive when you go into pressing movements. So yeah, you're 100% right. You're on to something with the banded leg press. And a lot of the times the strength curve on some leg presses is just so fucking awful that the band just makes the machine feel better. There's a lot of machines that are really fucking shitty until you add a little bit of band tension, and all of a sudden they're awesome. All of a sudden they're awesome. Uh, Christopher's typing a question for his wife Leslie, so we will get into that. Um, John asks, does anyone else prefer to train in complete silence? I did the other day on accident. I just never, I had my headphones in. I never put Spotify on. And then I was like halfway through my workout. I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, yeah. But I'm just like a music enthusiast. So I absolutely love music while I'm training. Um, Cardio, I generally a lot of the times do cardio in complete fucking silence. Or I'll put on like not white noise, but if you go to Spotify, you can type in like parasympathetic like playlist, and it just plays like fucking plays like a playlist of shit that's like doo, 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 and like fucking ocean sounds in the background and shit. And you're just doing your cardio. It's like, so yeah, good shit. Oh, okay, Christopher. She ran Omega Centennial. That's a John Meadows program. Then a bikini model program for glute focus. She's looking for a next program that has more of the shoulders and back from Omega, but incorporates the heavy glute from the program she did. I told her to run Omega again and work in some other stuff through exercise selection. Yeah, I really like that Omega program from John for women. My wife did that several times. Yeah, just have her sneak in some glute work, you know, three times a week or whatever. Additional, like, one additional exercise a day or whatever is totally fine. Amy, my bikini athlete, her program has glutes kind of snuck in throughout the week here and there. We try to just build volume out throughout the week. So we've been sneaking in some extra glute training. One way to do that, Chris, is really simple. Um, After Leslie's like whatever day, just have her do like a circuit of glutes. And I call it, I didn't coin this, I got it from Clint Darden, but I call it the 15 minutes of fame. So, like, um, for a bikini girl, like, their glutes are their fame, their pride and fucking joy, right? For a guy, that would be like biceps, triceps, chest, shoulders, whatever. The beach muscles. So the girls on the beach, they want their butt to look good. Um, so the 15 minutes of fame is Leslie will do her whatever day. Let's say it's even like an upper body day. And then the last 15 minutes of the workout, she's going to focus on her glutes. So 15 minutes of fame for Leslie is the goal. Sorry, I'm fucking like burping and breathing heavy. It's off season, baby. Yeah. And my stupid fucking dog is barking. John says music makes my workout go faster, and lately I love being in the gym, being present during my training. No scrolling through. I would never fucking open Instagram during training. That is insane if people are doing that. If you guys fucking open Instagram while you were training with me, I will fucking smash your phone against your head. That is the craziest. If you guys are fucking doing that, I cannot believe that. That is insane. What the fuck are you going to miss on Instagram for the 1 hour that you're at the gym? That is fucking crazy if you guys are doing that. I really hope that's not a thing. I really fucking hope that's not a thing. Mel asks about AM workouts. Do I want to get my pre-workout meal in prior always? Well, yeah, you want to eat before you exercise. Food is fuel, dude. You want, yeah, yeah. I don't like training fasted unless you're a fucking fat soccer mom. There's very few people that I have trained fasted. You're a bodybuilder, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? You better be eating every fucking chance you get. That's like all we have to do to build muscle is eat food. DLC says he started doing no headphones with no music a lot. Gym environment has been great. Yeah, yeah, that can work for sure. Small says I wouldn't mind training without headphones if my gym didn't play Demi Lovato. I could fuck with it. And Taylor Swift. I literally listen to Taylor Swift with my own headphones. So fuck you, Smalls, bitch. Alex says, do you limit your caffeine intake to a certain milligram? Yeah, I personally do. I would really be hard pressed to ever go over 400 a day. Um, Nowadays, back in the day, fuck, dude, I was well over a gram of caffeine every day. Well over a fucking gram, dude, easily. Like by fucking 1 o'clock, I was over a gram, and I would still slam caffeine. Like, yeah, that there was no there was no governor on anything that I used to do. Um, but yeah, I really I'd be hard pressed to find any reason to go above 400 milligrams of caffeine for almost anyone. Um, and like body weight is somewhat of a factor, I guess. But yeah, 400 seems like a place where I would want to cut it off at least. Chris says for Leslie, yeah, a glute finisher. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a finisher per se, but like maybe like a circuit and start with 3 times a week or whatever. Just call it her 15 minutes of fame. Maybe she likes a certain machine or whatever, you know. Peyton said, I'm getting to the point lately where I don't want headphones on when training unless it's cardio. Yeah, I still like my music while I train personally. I've trained in silence for sure, though, 100%. You should be able to train in any environment, or none of that shit should matter. Oh, see, this is where Mark says one of my gym is always playing Hair Nation. Yeah, I would fucking, I couldn't do that. There's very, very few music genres that I don't like. Hair metal is one of them. I cannot fucking stand hair metal. I think it is just garbage. There's some hair metal that I do like Iron Maiden is good, but they're not like typical hair metal. Like Guns N' Roses is good. They're not really hair metal though, but they're from that era. Um, but yeah, like traditional hair metal, fucking kill me, kill me. Like Judas Priest is dope. Like I could fuck with him, but like I can't even give you an example of hair metal. That's how much I don't listen to it. But yeah, terrible. Yeah, see, like Van Halen, Chris says Van Halen, White Stripes, Metallica. Yeah, I'm good with all that. I'm good with all that. Fuck yeah. Peyton says absolutely no hair metal. Yeah, Dave, Diesel Dave and I are fucking on the same wavelength like all the time. He trained a Phantom of the Opera last week. That was cool. Man, I love like have you guys looked at my fucking phone? Sometimes the shit I listen to while I train, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I love that shit. I love it. Yeah, Melmax says Poison is prime hair metal. Poison is fucking poison. That's literally their name. Phantom of the Opera, Sea Shanties, etc. Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Priest and Iron Maiden is original heavy metal. Yeah, I agree. I would consider them like at the time they were considered metal. Judas Priest is fucking awesome. Iron Maiden's good. I don't love them. I love Judas Priest though. That shit's dope. Ozzy, fuck yeah, like Black Sabbath, that shit. Any Ozzy like collab, like that shit's so good, so good. And hair metal is just forever bad, forever fucking bad. What else? What else? What else? What else you guys got? Mm-mm-mm. Happy Valentine's Day. Almost forgot. Yeah. Do you have any type of music you enjoy that you don't use for training? Any music that I enjoy can be used for training. So, yeah, there's no difference there. Um, if I enjoy it, it will come on during training at some point. Dude, I have probably the most diverse taste in music out of anyone you've ever met. Like I listen to so much different music. I think it's the probably the greatest art form to ever exist. Yeah, bluegrass. I love bluegrass. I love everything. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. But like besides hair metal, like see that's how bad hair metal is. You take a guy like me that will listen to Taylor Swift and I will not fucking put on Poison to save my life. I would rather die. I'd rather fucking die. You have to listen to this whole Poison song or you're gonna die. Okay, I'll die. Just fucking kill me. Just fucking kill me, please. Yeah. Hmm. What else? Training, gear, peptides, nutrition, bluegrass. Hmm. No questions. What time is it? It's almost 11:30 my time, Central Standard Time. Oh, 3 weeks until the Arnold. We will do that. We will watch maybe Nick Walker win. Maybe. Hope so. Hope so. But we don't know. No one knows. All we can go off is Instagram update photos, and you know how that goes. You know how that goes. No one's going to post a photo that looks like shit on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, that would be silly. That would be silly. Be a weird mistake. Hmm. Yep, I think we covered everything in the chat. I'm just scrolling back through to make sure. Steve likes the Strong app for his training. Colton talked about EQ converting to E1. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Bluegrass Festival. Yeah, I mean, I was a big String Cheese Incident fan for a long, long time. So, fan of the String Cheese Incident. So, yeah, I've seen lots of live bluegrass. Lots of live bluegrass. Uh huh. Well, if you guys don't come up with a question in 1 minute, then I'm gonna fucking kick rocks. Diesel Dave, when or if at all, if someone's PED, um, I think he's asking about when or if at all does someone add in insulin use? I think that's what he's asking. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. When or if at all in someone's PED regimen is insulin use used? Um, man, I mean, it depends. I don't love it for a couple different people. One, people that just can't follow a diet, and I don't trust that they're gonna measure it right, and they're probably gonna end up fucking taking too much and hurting themselves. Um, I think that insulin is a wonderful tool. I think it needs to be respected. I don't know that it's quite as dangerous as it's made out to be, but I really think it needs to be. Uh, it really needs to be respected. Um, but man, I don't know how to give like a when do I add insulin? I don't know how to give that answer. Um, I just think if it's something that you're comfortable using or you're just looking for the next thing to kind of dive into and all your other things are buttoned up, then it is something that you can explore using as a tool. Um, Generally, the way I see it incorporated is people start with a test only, then they generally experiment with a second or third compound, then growth hormone is introduced at some point, and then insulin is normally layered on next. So that's generally how I see it done. Is more just a timeline of um, tinkering with things. You know what I mean? When would you actually need to add it? I don't think it's ever needed. Personally, I don't think it's ever needed. I think it's strictly just a specific tool with a specific goal. Um, but yeah, that's not like a perfect answer, I know, but, the way I see it as generally growth hormones introduced first, and then insulin would come next at some point. Whether it's actually needed to control, glucose because of the potential doses of the growth hormone, or you just wanna add something additional. You want to add another tool, another pathway, another way to um, elicit muscle growth, right? Because insulin is very anabolic. So, um, a lot of competitors use it. I think even women can use it in low doses or appropriate doses because it's obviously doesn't affect their if they're just on like TRT and they're not looking to add other compounds, it's actually a good choice. Growth hormone, insulin, L-carnitine, even clenbuterol, even metformin is not a bad choice for women, depending on what it does to their gut. It fucks some people up for sure. Um, but those are like different things that women can look into as tools instead of always just like the typical, oh, just add Anavar. How much? I don't know. Oh, I take this much, so probably like half of what I take. Yeah, that's bad advice. That's really bad advice. So I think there's other tools. I think that can be used as a tool for women, for sure. And then there's a lot of good peptides out there that are replacing the use of insulin for some people. You know, so that's other things to consider. But yeah, there's no exact um, point or where it should be added, unless it's obviously used for medical reasons, right? But yeah, I personally like it. Not all my clients use it. That's for sure. That's for sure. Good question. Peyton says, I've seen string cheese live like a long time ago. Yeah, when I saw him, it was long ago too. It's probably 2011. Mel says there's a delayed release metformin that can help with some gut symptoms. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Not everyone gets, terrible. I mean, Peyton says pioglitazone is a actual true insulin sense. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I've only heard about that a couple times. I've never used it, nor do I have any clients use it. Um, all right. I am going to sign out of here unless you guys have any more questions. But those were all good that came in at the end there. That's all good shit. Amy says, "Thank you, Tommy. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, Amy, for being here, for creeping in. Hope your work day ends soon, and you can enjoy the rest of the day. Hopefully, you have good weather. We have good weather out here in Chicago today. The rest of the weekend's supposed to be beautiful. President's Day Monday for whatever the fuck President's Day is for." David says he's good on questions. Always love the streams. Have a good weekend, David, my man. Appreciate you as always for all that you do, all that you are. Love it. Absolutely love it. Grateful for you all. My phone is on. My response times are slower on the weekend, but I do respond. So if you guys need anything, you know where to find me. Sign up for the email list. I'm going to say it a million fucking times, but a lot of you are signed up. So that's super cool. I appreciate all that. That's it. Omega Amino, there's a sale going on for Valentine's Day. Enjoy all your Valentine's Day. If you guys are clients and you do have dinner or whatever with your partner tonight, don't fucking care. Feel free to do that. Unless you're in prep and you're still fucking fat, then don't do that because that's probably a bad idea. But if you are in prep and can get away with it, then fucking feel free to do so. Anyways, cool guys. Thank you. Appreciate you as always. Guys, if you can share this, maybe we'll try to build up this YouTube channel this year. Could be fun. Yeah, Omega Amino, code Tommy. You guys are going to get some free gifts with that, and you're going to get 30% off. So good shit there. If you guys have any questions about the type of products that we have on that website, you can contact me either Instagram, TommyJohnCoaching.com, or you can send me an email, text message, whatever way is fine with me. It's groovy. It's all good. Appreciate you all. Let me know if you need anything. Love you all and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.